All right, let's do this. We're going deep today. Deep into the world of Sunny Jetsun,
Oh, yeah. This is going to be a good one.
a poet who, well, doesn't really give a damn what people think and seems to really like women a lot.
That's one way to put it. I mean, his poetry is provocative, for sure. Definitely surreal. And that passion for the feminine divine, it bleeds through every page.
Yeah, well, you sent me a ton of his work, and just glancing through it, it's a lot.
Buckle up.
Yeah. It's intense, man. I mean, I opened one of his poems, and the first line is, apples crumbling, try a pranayama bocadillo. Like, what?
Aha. That's Sunny in a nutshell. Throws these insane images at you, and you're just like left trying to make sense of it
And
all.
it works. I mean, it definitely makes you stop and pay attention.
It's classic surrealism. He takes something normal every day, like an apple, and then throws it up against something totally out there. Like pranayama, it's a yoga breathing technique.
Oh, okay.
But that's what he's doing, shaking up the way we see the world, forcing us to look beyond the surface.
Yeah, he's definitely got a point. I mean, the world is pretty damn weird when you really stop and think about it.
Right. And he doesn't shy away from anything. I mean, you look at some of the themes he tackles: war, tyranny, social injustice. He's fearless.
Oh, yeah. No punches pulled. I was reading through the Kiss and Slaughterhouse 6 last night.
Huh.
He talks about sociopathic master races, heavy stuff.
Yeah. And he's got all those sections about Saudi Arabian laws, Pinochet being arrested. It's intense.
Oh, and he absolutely tears into corporations, calls them zombies waging economic war.
That's Sunny, all right. He sees the systems of power, the corruption, and he just calls it out, no filter.
Yeah, but he does it with such artistry, like
Yeah.
he's weaving this tapestry of crazy imagery, but at the same time he's making these really profound points about society.
He's using the surrealism to highlight the absurdity of it all, like, look how messed up this is.
Yeah, it's a trip. But then you flip the page and you get these poems about love
Mhm.
in women. And it's like a totally different side of him comes out, almost tender,
Yeah. That's what makes him so interesting, right? He's got this deep respect for women, for the feminine divine. He uses this incredible imagery so sensual you can feel the reverence in his words.
Yeah, it's there for sure. Even when he's getting pretty explicit.
Definitely. But it's never exploitative.
I don't think so.
There's a real respect for women and their power. Like in that Katif girl's lips are sealed. He's dealing with some really heavy stuff, the way women are treated under Sharia law. But then he has these lines about turmeric moon and a woman's intact hymen, a healthy womb.
Yeah. Yeah, that's Sunny. All right. So there's a lot to unpack here. And one poem really struck me, Revolution from Imperialists.
It's a wild ride, man. Oppression, freedom, love, it's all there.
Oh, good choice. Yeah, that one really sums up a lot of what we've been talking about, his social commentary, the surrealism, and that deep, almost spiritual belief in the power of love. Yeah. And it starts with this conversation between two lovers. They're talking about their land, how poor it is, how they feel oppressed. Why, my dearest, is this land so poor? We are good people. We work hard, but is it true? Are we inferior to those around us? Look at me, my dear one. Our land was conquered many years ago. Ever since I can remember, there was always some king or lord telling us, oppressing us, the way he thought was the best for himself. It's heartbreaking.
It's so raw, so honest. That feeling of powerlessness just hits you right in the gut.
Yeah. And then he goes on, now shall we take the blame for their misrule, as they will surely try and make us the guilty. We love our land. It is they who exploited it. These are the imperialists. This poverty is not our devotion, hope, and faith. But since I was a little child, there have been those kings who wished to control all this beautiful land. You can feel the anger building.
Absolutely. He's calling bullshit on the whole system. The way the powerful blame the victims, the way they deny their agency, and the way he emphasizes imperialists, like he's really driving that point home.
Yeah, he's not holding back. And then he gets even more pointed. They used their power so that the spirit of me, of you, of this wonder was ignorantly repressed and destroyed so they could dominate us and greedily live in their castle. This poverty is not of me. It's like he's pointing his finger right at the system, the one that keeps people trapped, not just materially, but spiritually too.
It's powerful stuff, for sure. He's exposing the mechanisms of oppression, the way they crush the human spirit and deny people their basic rights. And that image of the castle, it's so symbolic, you know? It represents the whole power structure, the one that needs to be dismantled.
And then he brings in this character,
Mm.
this man who's saying, he's like a symbol of hope, like a vision of a different world, a world without all this oppression.
Right, yeah. Like he's introducing this revolutionary figure, someone who sees beyond the bullshit,
Yeah.
someone who can show them a different way.
Exactly. And he describes this man as, well, as someone who just loved life, loved the world, that he knew of lands of amazingly colorful flowers, sacred trees, birds, and butterflies beside clearest waters. It's beautiful, man.
Yeah, it is. It's like this burst of color in the middle of all that darkness.
Yeah. But then there's this realization, that they're not ready for that change. They're too scared to break free from the king's control. Like, he says, I remember how much I loved these words and how much I dreamed of change, but I would look at our land in despair. How could I create such a garden? I was so used to this reality of poverty that I could not imagine much more. There was always the king up in his castle. He psychologically dominated everything so that I could not think beyond this world he had allowed for us, but oh, how I wished and dreamed.
It's tragic, man.
Oh, it is. It's like they're trapped in their own minds. They can't even imagine a different reality.
That's it. It's like they've internalized the oppression, and it's heartbreaking.
It is. And ultimately, it leads to the man leaving, right? He can't force them to be free. Yeah. He says, the man loved us, and by this wished to show us how to overcome the imperialist and rebirth our natural beauty. But we felt so dependent on the king, we could not open the castle's door. We gave the man no choice but to leave. With tears in his heart, he promised that one day we shall be free. It's a powerful moment, man, full of sadness, but also hope. That promise of future freedom.
It's like it's both a goodbye and a see you later.
Exactly. And then he brings it all back to the system, the one that's keeping them down. My dearest, the king is still fortified in his castle, and we continue to be his subjects manipulated by our inferior complex until we can throw off this relationship whereby our hearts have meekly accepted his lordly superiority. We are made the poorest in this imperial affair. They have taught us to deny our inner selves, my dear one. When we love freely, not loving through fear, when we are loved freely, not as a subject of the great Caesar and his army and pontiffs, it's about reclaiming your power, right? Your self-worth.
Absolutely. It's about breaking free from those mental chains, the ones that tell us we're not good enough, that we don't deserve better.
Yeah, man. It's deep.
It is.
And then the ending. The poem ends with this call to unity, to self-realization. Then we will realize that we do share and that we all do have a part of this, our beautiful land. It's about recognizing our shared humanity, right? Our interconnectedness.
Right. It's about rejecting those divisions that are imposed on us, the ones that keep us separated and fighting amongst ourselves.
Man, that poem, it just stays with you,
Oh, yeah. It's powerful stuff.
But it's interesting, right? Because as much as Jetsun dives into these like dark and heavy topics, there's also this sense of playfulness in his work.
Yeah.
And humor, even.
Oh, totally. He doesn't take himself too seriously,
Yeah, and he's not afraid to get weird. Like really weird.
Haha, yeah. He's all about pushing boundaries, exploring different states of consciousness. I mean, he talks pretty openly about his experiences with psychedelics and how they've influenced his writing.
Right. Like that line about hallucinations, programs, mesmerizing you, and the Rolls Royce of acid. I mean, the guy's a trip.
He's definitely not your average poet, that's for sure. He's using his words to map out these inner landscapes, these journeys into the depths of consciousness.
Yeah. And it gets pretty wild at times.
Definitely. But he doesn't shy away from the dark side either, the potential for paranoia, delusion, even self-destruction.
Yeah, it's all there. But it's like he comes out the other side transformed, grown, like he's faced his demons and come out stronger.
Exactly. And that's what makes his work so compelling. It's honest, it's raw, it's human.
Okay, so we've talked about the surrealism, the controversial themes, the love, the spirituality. But there's one thing we haven't really dug into yet, and that's his love for women. I mean, it's everywhere in his poetry, this intense, almost devotional energy.
Oh, yeah. It's a driving force, for sure. He sees women as, like, these embodiments of the feminine divine, sources of power, beauty, creative energy.
Yeah, and he's not shy about expressing that, sometimes in pretty explicit ways. Remember that line, Kush Transbaba's got the spirit of 10 hopping seamen?
Haha, yeah. That one definitely got my attention.
Right, it's raw, it's provocative, but there's also this sense of reverence.
Yeah.
Like he's celebrating that life force, that primal energy that he associates with women.
Right. And it's important to note, even when his language gets pretty graphic, it never feels objectifying or disrespectful. There's a real appreciation for women's bodies and their power.
Yeah, it's a delicate balance, but I think he pulls it off. It's one of the things that makes his poetry so fascinating.
Yeah.
He's exploring all these different facets of love, from the spiritual to the erotic. And he's not afraid to challenge societal norms.
Totally. He's pushing boundaries, making us question our own assumptions about love, sexuality, and the feminine divine.
And speaking of pushing boundaries, let's talk about some of the more controversial aspects of his work.
Mhm.
I mean, the guy doesn't hold back when it comes to criticizing those in power.
Oh, yeah, he goes there. Politicians, religious leaders, corporations, the media. Nobody's safe from his sharp wit.
That's right. There's this line in Slavebrokera Teg 9 that really stuck with me. How many slaves do you possess, Lord? Such a direct challenge, like he's forcing us to look in the mirror and confront our own complicity in systems of inequality.
It's a powerful line, for sure. He's not letting anyone off the hook.
Nope. And then there are those passages in S21 Bus and Our Public Servants where he talks about being led into killing fields and the abuse of power by those in authority. It's chilling stuff.
Yeah, he's not afraid to go to those dark places, to expose the potential for cruelty and violence that exists within us all.
Right. And it's not always easy to read, but it's important,
Absolutely. He's making us confront those uncomfortable truths about ourselves and the world we live in.
And he does it in such a masterful way,
Yeah.
blending those harsh realities with moments of surreal beauty and like transcendent insight.
He's a true visionary, man. A
Yeah.
poet who's not afraid to push the boundaries of language and consciousness.
For a guy who's like constantly railing against society, he sure does seem to find a lot of beauty in it too.
Right. Like, he can be so critical, but there's also this deep love for life that shines through.
I was thinking about that, and I remembered this line from one of his essays. I think it was 30 What is a Revolution.pdf. He's quoting someone else, but it really stuck with me. It is no measure of health to be well adjusted to a profoundly sick society.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's pretty spot on, actually.
Right. I mean, Jetsun is definitely not well adjusted. He sees the sickness, and he's not afraid to call it out. Like, he talks about poisoning relations and the abuse of power through statutes and regulations. He even mentions the Department of Official Propaganda and Orwellian Section 4.
It's like he's living in a dystopian novel.
Sometimes I think we all are. And he's just the one who's willing to say it.
Yeah, he's definitely got that outsider perspective. Like, he doesn't quite fit in anywhere, which is probably why he's so hard to pin down ideologically.
Totally. He's not left. He's not right. He's just Sunny.
Exactly. He's an independent thinker. He questions everything. And that's what makes him so refreshing, especially in today's world.
Yeah, for sure. It's like he's saying, hey, wake up. Don't just swallow the propaganda. Think for yourself.
Exactly. And that's what we're trying to do here, too.
Right. I hope so. I mean, we're not here to tell you what to think about Sunny Jetsun. We just want to open up his work and let you decide for yourself.
Exactly. Give you the tools to explore his poetry and come to your own conclusions.
So who is this guy, Sunny Jetsun? I mean, his bio is pretty sparse. It says he's a nomad, a global wanderer, been all over the place. But it doesn't really give you much to go on.
Yeah, he's kind of an enigma. But you can definitely see the influence of Eastern philosophies and spirituality in his work.
Yeah, all those references to India, Kushtrans Baba, Shiva's magic, Pushkar's lake. It's almost like you can feel the energy of those places in his words.
Right. You can practically smell the incense.
And the guy's been writing for over 4 decades. This isn't some fly-by-night poet. He's dedicated his life to this, to exploring these crazy themes, pushing the boundaries of language.
Yeah, he's the real deal. And yet he's still kind of a mystery.
Which I think adds to the allure. He's not out there trying to promote himself, build a brand. He just lets his work speak for itself.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into the wild world of Sunny Jetsun, what's the one thing you want our listeners to take away from all of this?
I think it's this. Don't just read Sunny Jetsun. Wrestle with him. Argue with him. Question him. His poetry is an invitation to a dialogue, not a lecture.
That's a great way to put it. It's a conversation. And it might get uncomfortable at times. It might even piss you off.
Probably. But it's also incredibly rewarding. It can open your mind to new possibilities, new ways of seeing the world.
So go out there, explore Jetsun's work, see what resonates with you, and don't be afraid to disagree with him, to question his assumptions, to find your own meaning in his words.
Yeah. Be the thorn in the side of society. Shake things up, speak truth to power, and never stop questioning. That's what Sunny Jetsun would do.
Right on.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the poetic universe of Sunny Jetsun. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep.